What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we're gonna go around the league. Um, Camps are opening everywhere, so perfect time to go around the league. Also, NBA. We're gonna talk a little NBA today, and I got a question. First impressions of the Hog, the Josh Harris, the Harris ownership group, and then is there any team in Major League Baseball that can beat the Braves? We'll talk about that and more on today's episode of First String Podcast. Are y'all ready? Let's go.
Yeah. First String Podcast. Yeah. Too Danny. Dre on the beat. You know. Yeah. What's your favorite squad? Tell me who you going with. First String Podcast, yeah, we keep it lit. We got the latest updates, we don't pump fake. Like, comment, share, we don't care, feel free to hate. We got great guests, join us, you should chime in. Judini on the intro for the time being. Lady A, representing Washington. Pick Washington, everything Washington. Mo coming out of Dallas, you know the business. Said, them Georgia Bulldogs ain't quitting. Yeah, if you ain't watching sports, you ain't living. About to get my mattress Mac on, about to bet $1 million, bet $1 million. Let's talk about it. We all grown and cool, we can talk about it. Before we hit the news, we gon' talk about it. Oh, you wanna bet? Let's pop a bottle about it.
What's good? Welcome back to First String Podcast. Do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Give us that good thumbs up. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. Y'all know the most important part is to tell a friend about the First String Podcast. Is very beneficial as we will be giving away John Madden 2024 on August 19th. So how do you win? What you need to do is subscribe or tell a friend to subscribe to First String Podcast. That friend needs to screenshot it, email it to firststringpodcast@gmail.com. In that email, tell us who the friend was that referred you to us, and both of you will win a copy of Madden 2024. It's just that easy. So tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast, and it'll all work out for both of you guys in the end, or both of you ladies, or him and her, or let's bring in my guy Sid right now so I can stop doing that silliness. What's good, Sid, man? How are you?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, how was your weekend?
Cool.
Okay. We're gonna talk about the weekend.
Cool.
We're gonna talk about the weekend here in a hot minute, okay? Let's bring in Papa Smurf right now. Cause what's good, man? How are you?
What is that reference?
Your beard.
Oh, I'm like, what? Yeah, man. What's going on?
What's good? How was your weekend?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been kicking it lately. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's been all right.
Okay.
A little bit of that.
Right. Apparently,
right.
Both of y'all's weekend was a little better than my Friday night. Cause Friday night I had a rough week. I had a pretty rough week, so I was stressed and everything. So I was like, tonight I'm getting. And so a little bit after the picture that I posted, I got pickpocketed. Yeah, so I got everything back, but they hit me up for some cash. Could have been a lot worse. And so I just sat down on Saturday, and then we had a lot going on. So that's why we had no show Saturday. It was just everybody had a lot going on. So we were supposed to have a show, but it was like, you know what? As a group, let's just take a breath, relax, and we took the Saturday off. So that's pretty much what happened with all of us right here.
First of all, hey Coco.
Whoa! Let's do this together.
Coco gotta get the love for me first. I'm sorry.
Oh wow, y'all too. Bruce Glass is in the building, man. What's up? Bruce is in the building as always, and then we got Mr. Kennedy in the building. What's up, Don? Hope them nights are treating you good. Yeah. And then we got Droopy in the house. Metaphor's up in. Metaphor's in the building as well. What's up, Meta? I don't know if you told somebody about First String Podcast, Meta, but you better tell somebody. And then we got Coco in the building.
Big body Cinnabon.
Big body, Miss Big Body herself. Extra glaze, please.
Hey, not
extra glaze. Whoa.
Not that one right there, but the one over there, the big body one right there. Okay, yes, I see you right. Okay. I see you. Well, look, Lady A's not here to find anybody just yet. So while she's not here, while the cat's away, the three mice will play. Anthony Armstrong will be joining us. He'll be joining us here in a little bit. Okay. Ant, should we start with the breaking news?
Yes.
All right. Sage, you got it? Or Ant, you got it? Which one?
It was so much today. I mean, I got some of it here. I don't know if it's some stuff I missed. I know one of them belongs to Ant. I'll let him do that. I'll let him tease that one. It's actually coming from his squad. But
you talking about
some of the things we've seen today in reference to around the NFL.
No, that's not the breaking news. Let's start with young Bronny.
That's not breaking news. That was 2 days ago.
It was released today.
Okay. Well,
right?
We can do that as well.
Young Bronny, cardiac arrest during one of his first practices with USC, but he is in stable condition and recovering. So, that's still big news for a young guy such as himself. You wonder if it was some pre-existing conditions going on, or if he really got pushed to the limit or something.
Right. And here's the thing about it is, hey, wait. HR's in the building.
Hello.
Here, everything's going well.
Yes, had to make sure.
You had to make sure everything's going.
Us.
You can only find us. You can't stop us.
Join us eventually.
No, I will not.
I missed the days. Hey, I missed the days when she was getting her jokes in.
She said, "I'm not a joiner. I'm not a joiner. I'm more like a finder." Okay, so the thing about USC and Bronny's, they something happened to one of their freshmen last year. So in 2 years, they had 2 kids going to cardiac arrest. So is it time that we start to question the program?
No, not necessarily. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, those preparations. I mean, there are things that go into that as well. Hydration. Did he eat? Was he on an empty stomach? Because once you go out there and you start running up and down that court and you haven't eaten, you have no salt in your body, you have no fluids in your body. There's no reason saying you got to start cramping first. You can go straight from 1 to 100.
But straight to the heart, don't say it.
Yeah. Let's not forget, Shaq had one as well. He was the first one that happened to him.
Yeah, but he was like 300 pounds.
No. His oldest son.
Yeah.
Oh, his heart. He had to have heart surgery.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's something that could be. He went straight from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
There was no in between. There was no light fainting. There was no. It can happen that way. Sometimes there are symptoms. I mean, we can look at your boy from Ohio State who went to Georgia. And Georgia found he had that aneurysm in his brain. Yeah. They caught his. You see what I'm saying? He didn't go to 0 to 100. They caught his about 50. So it happens. All that stuff adds into what. I mean, I pray for the young man because I hate to see this for kids way younger than me.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Way younger than me.
His father is younger. So
his father's younger than who?
And we talking way younger, like 88 age.
What you say? Me? I'm 35.
But you was just 35 when you had a birthday.
Yeah, I turned 35. You misunderstood. I turned 35.
So I aged only.
Only you.
No, I turned 35. It's okay.
I'm gonna mute myself. Don't worry.
Okay, lady, I get it there. What was you saying?
No, I was just saying, it's unfortunate. But it also speaks to the eagerness of parents across the nation. You have to also keep in mind that our kids are conditioned to be the best from day one now. Like, it's so competitive. And with his son trying to live up to his father's name, I can imagine him pushing himself much harder than another kid.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
maybe much harder than his body was able to take. So, you know, I know when we were younger, it was a little different. And I'm speaking of everyone on the panel, including Ant. It was a little different than now. Okay. When you go to a kids football game now, the energy is so different.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
so different. They're competitive. They're treating these boys like they're, I mean, at 5, they're treating them like they're in high school. They're expecting them to know these things. They're expecting them to go hard. So when you have all of that on your body all these years, I mean, it's gonna have some effects.
Right. Right. For me, I'm starting to look at things like we've seen LeBron leave. You've seen videos of LeBron leaving the house and his boys outside playing basketball already. Right. That's like 5 a.m. And then the fact that he's been an all-star. He's been around the country, the high school that he goes to, and then who his father is. It lets you know that, hey, if I need to get shots up, I need to be conditioned, I need to go to the gym, I need to run, which makes me think that maybe it could just be me, but maybe I need to look at USC now. And sort of the reason why I say that is this: is today the Commanders opened up their camp, and camps are opening up all the way around. Right, we're going to switch to the NFL here now. We're going to go around the league. Camps are starting to open up all the way around, but the first thing they do is the conditioning test, right? And the conditioning test usually, like if you look at Baltimore's conditioning test, they call it death because of how hard it is. If you look at the Commanders' conditioning test, it was like 20, 40-yard sprints at like 20 seconds or something like that, and some push-ups and some other stuff. Depending on what position group you played was how much more time you got. So if that's their conditioning test and everybody passed the conditioning test, how would you, incoming freshman, you're starting to build him up. You're not supposed to be pushing that person to their limits already, right? Because the NFL, they sort of build them up to get to this point to where they pass their conditioning test on the first day, and then their actual first day of practice on the field with coaches and stuff like that, they're good to go. That's just my thoughts on it, and that's why I'm saying we got to look at USC, is because what kind of buildup did you give these freshmen? Did you give them homework? Hey, we need you running miles before you come in here and start working out with us, because this is big boy basketball now. Because this is the what 5% that make it to college, and then 1% make it to the NBA. Is that about right? Say it, something like that.
Yeah, that's about right.
So that's why I would like to look at the school first and say, what is it about what y'all are doing where this is the second year in a row that you had a freshman go into cardiac arrest? What's up, Ant?
But I also believe that even with whatever they call the Commanders and their routine for conditioning, there's still a rhyme and reason to it. There's a way that they prep themselves for it. And I think for these college kids, it's a little more wide open. A lot of these coaches, they're trying to see what these kids are made of. It's kind of more of a how much heart and grit do these freshmen have? Because once you get to junior, senior, unless you've changed coaches a lot, you already know the requirements in a sense. So I do think some of that plays a part. The one thing that makes me believe that it wasn't necessarily about him fielding the pressure is because if you feel the pressure, you don't change your name. You just kind of take it on as this other great challenge. He's always seemed like he's kind of, I'm going to do my thing. I know what my dad is. I love him, but I'm going to be Bronny. And so I think that makes me believe that it wasn't necessarily about him fielding the pressure. Like I said, it could be some stuff that they never really looked at, and a mixture of possibly the programming. You have more than one or two kids that have suffered from something like this. There is something to look at,
Yep.
I mean, I definitely agree with looking at that school. I know if I were in a position to send my kid to USC in some type of athletic program, I wouldn't. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
Yeah, we heard that. That's a storm outside.
Yeah, it's storming here in the DMV, guys.
At first, I thought it was the dog barking, but then it said,
Not
woo,
at
woo, woo,
all.
woo. All right, so I just got word from Anthony Armstrong. He'll be on here shortly. So let's talk about this next story real fast before we get Anthony, and then we'll switch to NFL. We'll go around the NFL with him. Nebraska. I'm sorry, not Nebraska. Northwestern. Northwestern. This was a story I really tried to get away from and not talk about at all, but this one just seems to be getting really, really bad with Pat Fitzgerald being fired there, but Chicago laws are different when it comes to firing and terminating a person, so he may get his money. But it was the culture at Northwestern that's being brought up and the things that they're doing, which don't seem to be, I don't know what kind of culture they have, but if I was at a school and I heard about some of the things that was happening there, I'm talking sodomy here. I definitely would not be there, and none of my kids would be there. Man, yeah, and you had that same look that I had.
Yeah, he did.
For a football team, what are you talking about? And the quarterback said this was a tradition. Wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's not good.
It's not a tradition I want to be a part of. The AD's not being fired. They keeping some of the coaching staff. But for me, this is one of those situations where you got to blow the whole thing up. You suspend football operations for the year. You take that L, but you got to clean house.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all feel or if y'all even kept up with this story. Lady A, what you got?
Yeah, everybody must go at this point. I mean, if it's like, oh yeah, it's a tradition, meaning that's not the first time it happened.
Right.
Everyone must go.
And don't forget, the coach used to be a player there. He's one of their linebackers, right?
So did the coach decide to keep the tradition? You know, like that's a question.
Say it what you got, because say it looking like, whoa, what are you talking about? What you got said?
I don't understand these kids.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I mean, football or no football, no scholarship or no scholarship. Somebody got to. I don't want to say it, but I got to say it. Somebody got to die.
Die.
They said everyone must go. That's what
I ain't got time for this player.
Exactly.
Because if all these people we've seen that have literally died from some type of hazing throughout the years, we come to find, and the kill about Northwestern is it wasn't just football.
That's the other part.
So it's a school tradition. Everyone got to go.
It's not just everybody need to be gone.
Y'all remember that movie with Samuel Jackson? Where
he's been in 40 million of them.
That's true. That's true. The one with the daughter and he shot the dude and the cop. The cop came. A Time to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
I can just think of Kevin Hart. That's the sound of.
We're not condoning.
I'm not, but
violence. However,
I'm just saying.
I said initially, everyone must go.
Man, I imagine she's white.
Everybody. I mean, forgive me for putting the violence into it, but on the initial thought of one of my kids or one of my grandkids telling me that, I'm at the school. They might well shut football. They might well shut everything down because you can't come on school property. Cool, I'm gonna stand right across the street. You got to go home. That's how I feel about that. I'm not sending my kids to a school to be hazed in a way that it's going to harass for the rest of their life.
None of it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't talking about just that day. This is going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
Yes, it will.
You know?
Yes,
you got kids dying from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
That's the rest of their life is gone.
Charges need to be filed.
Exactly. If you're going into a culture, kids have to understand at the same time, if you're going into a culture, they're talking about, well, we got to haze you You know, it's an extreme drinking, extreme eating. I ain't got time for it.
Hold on. What about this one? What about this one? Did they show you this on your visit to the school?
No.
If this was not shown to me on my visit to the school, of course the coaches, they come into your living room and they talk to your parents and they take care of you. But the first day of practice, you all kinds of MFers and lazy sons of bees and everything like that. And you ain't great. I understand you trying to get the best out of me, but in the locker room, right, where I'm supposed to call you dudes my brother, and you try to pin me down.
There's a word
ball,
for that.
8-ball pillowcase from the pool table, and I'm going upside your head. I'm just saying.
There is a word for that behavior, and it's not just hazing. It comes with criminal charges. Okay. And they also need to understand that as parents, and like you said, you go to a parent's home, you sit down in their living room, and you give them this spiel about why their kid should come to your school. And then that parent trusts you with their kid. And then this happens, and then you find out it always happens. It's a tradition.
No, and that's what said is across the street. That's what said is across.
But that's when
across
it gets
the street, player.
personal, and that's
Right.
my thing. It gets personal, and you
Right.
can't do that because now, not only am I going to be mad at whoever did it, then I'm also going to be mad at the establishment, the school itself, but then I'm going to be mad at you, the person who came and sat in my living room and told me that I can trust them with my child.
Yep.
So that's where it becomes personal. So truthfully, I've been HR and recruiting and all that stuff, but I went to school for psychology and criminal justice.
This is mama hat right now.
So at the end of the day, you have to understand this. The psychology of it all is that I can't get mad at how any parent will respond to that. I can't, because think about what was going through your head. Like I trusted my kid with you, and this is what happened. No, no.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
There's no such thing as overreacting in that situation.
That's not gonna fly. All right, let's move on to really fast the NBA. Who had this one? Oh, wait. No, we got BJ now. I'm sorry. We got Anthony Armstrong now. Oh, man. We got Anthony Armstrong here. Let's bring in our guest, former Washington Redskin, Anthony Armstrong. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm actually cracking open a bag of Skittles at the moment. So,
I caught you.
Disclosure.
All right, full disclosure. Gotta ask you, everybody has one Skittle that they don't like. Which one do you not like?
Oh, see, okay. So, I truthfully like them all, but when they made that switch from lime to green apple, I wasn't about that. So I'm glad that the lime, because this one says the
You know what?
lime. They brought it back.
That
They
is
brought
a
it back.
very fair
That's right.
assessment there. I never thought about that. I wasn't crazy about that apple.
Yeah, it was like I was like, I'm gonna eat it, but
Right.
if
Hey,
had
I gotta
choice-
blend
I
it with
like
something.
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
got
blend
blend
it.
it.
apple,
Right,
lemon
yeah, you gotta-
apple, you
right.
gotta combine it. You know,
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know. What's going
So-
on, y'all good?
Yeah.
We got to start. I got you, Don. We got to start with the question of the month. All right. So our guy, Don Wilson, who's in the chat right now, who said, ask you the question.
Already.
Our question of the month. I'm just going to change it up. If you could put two people in the Hall of Fame, in the NFL Hall of Fame, who would they be and why? Two people who are not in right now that you could put in.
Man. So just one that jumped out for whatever reason. Larry Fitzgerald is one. Just a talented receiver, man. I mean, dude, he could do it all. Did it at a young age. So Larry Fitzgerald could put him in there. And I haven't seen another clip of Aaron Donald is one, but I think he'll make it anyway. So let me pick somebody else. I'll pick London Fletcher or Carlos Dansby. I think both of those guys have careers that have covered, and it's not just a Washington thing, but it's like when you've shared the locker room with London and you've seen how he prepares and took care of himself, and knew just what the hell the offense was doing as soon as you broke the huddle, like he's up there as a very special person. Like if you get to the point where you put Luke Kuechly in, and he'll probably eventually be in the Hall, you got to put London Fletcher, because those two guys were just technicians on understanding what the offense was trying to do to them, down and distance, and you just name it.
All right, you got.
He said Fitzgerald ain't eligible yet.
He said Fitz not eligible yet, so you got to get somebody that's eligible that's not in there yet.
All right. Well, dang, now you got me. Nah, really. Okay, well then still put Carlos Dansby on there.
I think Larry's going in first chance up too. I think he's going in first chance.
Probably. But put Carlos Dansby on there. Carlos Dansby. He always posts this at every year, but it's his statistics, and he is up there in the top of just tackles, interceptions, sacks. He's done everything at the linebacker position. So if you get the chance, you look at it, you'll be like, oh man, maybe this dude should get an opportunity. He's done it at a high level for multiple teams. So Carlos Dansby.
Got you. Okay, so I see you got the burgundy and gold the Armstrong jersey right there. So we just had the Josh Harris ownership group purchased the team on Thursday.
You just had him on the show. I was about to say, God.
Man, if I get him on the show,
yes, sir.
Don't worry, I'm trying. Don't worry.
Hey, I feel that.
Hey, only thing you can say is no.
Hey, right.
So they just got unanimously. Yeah, there we go. Approved, and the purchase went through on Friday. First thing he did on Thursday was buy everybody a beer. Then he had the press conference and met the fans and everything. What is your first impression of the Harris ownership group?
Man, I think they're out to a very quick start. And engaging the fans is the right thing to do to get everybody on board. Everybody's already happy. Like Thursday, the 20th, had to be the most exciting and happy day in Washington football Twitter history. Like there was no negative news anybody put out there. It was just all positivity and good vibes. I'd love to see it. But him buying everybody the beer, I think that was huge. Just because it kind of shows you, hey, I'm one of y'all. Right. I'm from this area. I grew up watching this team. I care about this team. I care about y'all as fans. So that's big. And then the press conference, you saw the turnout there. They're now talking about getting a new name and kind of getting those things going. I think it's got a lot of people excited. So it's perfect timing leading into training camp, and you really couldn't ask for more from this group so far.
Well, I know they said there was a lot that they wanted to do, but they don't have time because they have to get ready for the season and things like that. So, it's only so much that they can do. To me, it seems like this, like he said in his opening press conference with the NFL, he said this group was put together intentionally. And it seems like Magic Johnson is the one that's going to go out and work in the community. And then you have Mitchell Rails, who's going to get things done in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. And you have Josh Harris, who is a professional owner of sports teams.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I understand happened on Friday was he had a meeting with former players. And I'm about to ask you, did they reach out? What did they say?
Man.
Can you make it back up here?
Man, I wasn't a part of that meeting, but I'm gonna be in the area. So if I see him at training camp, I'll be glad to say hello and definitely share my information if he does want to, see what I got to say, what I would like to chip in. But I think that's good too. Talking to former players is important. You've heard that a lot of the alumni haven't been necessarily happy with, how they've been treated coming back to the organization. So getting everybody on board, that's smart. Honestly, it may be a good thing that they don't have time to do everything else. Because right now, all you can do is just get belly to belly with people, shake hands, introduce yourself, and ask them, "Hey, Toothpick, what are you looking for? Say, what are you looking for? Lady Antoinette, what are you looking for out of this organization?" Like he can actually get true feedback from people. You know what I mean? And use that to, like, you already know we want to do a stadium, and you're thinking about changing the name. They know what they want to do. Obviously, it's going to take time. Why not take the time now to get personal, get face to face, and ask you guys, what do you as fans want? Where I mean? Like I've heard of all the days when Jack can't cook, and when he owned the team and how good things were back then. Like you got to get that type of you got to get that type of itch from people again, right? You got to get those type of memories and thoughts from the fans about the team. You got to get that back. So I think use this time for that that research.
Well, what we do know is that they installed some bleachers into the training camp. Lady A, I know that you sit in the swankiest of places when it comes to the Commanders. So, did you get your seat? Where is it located, and how's the AC?
Are you referring to FedEx Field? Because I will be
No,
in
for
club
training
level.
camp. I'm talking about training
So
camp.
for training camp, I'm not sure. I know I have VIP passes, yes, but
What would I tell y'all?
I don't know what that entails. I really don't.
And it tells a personal someone fanning you to keep you cool the whole time.
No, I know that like I'm usually when I go to like training camps and OTAs, I can go where they have like the food set up or something like that. But now that they're changing things down in Ashburn, I have no idea what that's going to entail.
Yeah, I did see the picture of those stands. I saw the picture of the stands. I was like, "Look at y'all!"
Right.
Okay.
I'm happy I don't have to bring my chair.
Yeah. I would always be so appreciative of all the fans that came to training camp. Like I would always start at the furthest end and start signing autographs all the way down from the furthest end because everybody be posted up at the end. Yeah, and I would usually get to about halfway. And I would run out of time, and they would tell me, "Hey, you come on, you got to go in." So I would let them be the bad guys, because I would have signed everybody's if I could have, but I would start all the way down at the end and just work my way back.
So that was my next question to you: is you've been there at the training camps when it didn't look like an NFL training camp. Now that you've seen the pictures, and what are you expecting to see when you go up to training camp? Coming up this in a couple of days.
Yeah, Friday. That place is probably it should be jumping, man. If it's open to the public, because I'm not sure how they're.
Yeah, Fridays is.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mind you, I honestly was sitting here thinking it was Saturday the whole time, and then I finally.
It is Saturday too.
I'll be there Friday and Saturday.
I thought I was gonna be there. I thought the 28th was Saturday.
Oh,
and I was like, I bet. And I'm like, man, a lot of people going on Sunday. But then I looked at the calendar and I realized it's Friday. So it's not a problem. I am going to be there. I got confirmation today, so I will be there. I expect to see that thing jumping full, man. Because honestly, as players, once you get into training camp, like you get a couple under your belt, the fans, y'all help so much. Like when they get to be in them dog days and it's hot and you need an extra boost. Like I'm like, man, if I make this catch, like they finna get hype over here, right? So like everything you do, it has to be at a higher level. And I was just talking earlier today on my show, like rookies getting out of training camp. They get out early. Now they're gonna see, a stand of people that are not that far away, and they're loud and they know your name and they know your mama and they know your sister and they know all about you and they want you to sign and they love you. When you drop a punt, they finna talk about you, and you gotta hear it. You gotta hear it for 2 hours. Hey, 15. Like you don't want that. You don't want that.
Speaking of,
that's how y'all do.
Let's talk about this right here because I think Ant put this in our chat. So we're gonna get out of Commander's Land real fast. So let's go up north to the Jets. Jets. Aaron Rodgers threw that silly pass to Wilson. Are these two about to be a major problem, Ant?
Man, if you refer, yeah, absolutely, it is. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh.
And I give more credit to Garrett than I even do to the throw. He had to contort to still catch it, stay in bounds.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to stay kind of down on him because I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, but he can be less than great and be a big problem up there. That defense is ready. They've been ready for a couple years now and only got better. I mean, there'll be a problem.
And I got a question for you. How special is Garrett Wilson? How special do you think Garrett Wilson is?
Man, you can just tell that he's special because right now Ohio State is wide receiver you.
Yes.
Right. You got to go and talk I got to get a hold of Brian Hartline. I got to talk to him because whatever he's doing, I mean,
If you get him, let me know too, because I want to get
right. We just have everybody jump in, but whatever he's doing, like he's teaching these guys how to play the position, and it's not just the offenses that, hey, we're gonna trick you, and next thing you know, you're running naked down the field. I hate those offenses because they're like, look, this dude got 2,000 yards receiving. I'm like, he ain't running no route. Like everybody's confused. These guys can play, right? And Garrett Wilson is just nasty, talented. Obviously, he can move and bend. He can run all the routes. And now you got a quarterback that's able to make all the throws. Once I saw that catch, I'm like, oh, these two they're gonna make a lot of noise. You even saw Devontae Adams that tweeted about it. It's gonna be trouble. It's gonna be trouble for real. Don, I feel sorry for the AFC East.
And Don, that frame of thinking just doesn't work anymore. But
not this one.
The Jets will flop because that's what they do. Hey, listen,
no,
come on, man.
No,
that stuff sounds awesome, but none of those guys in that organization at that time, and mainly the players, they don't know anything about losing. They don't know anything about that culture and all the crap that came before them. They don't care. Yeah. So, yeah.
Speaking of, is it a lot of pressure on the Jets head coach this year? Because hey, we went and got you a quarterback. We brought in the wide receivers. You have a defense that's ready to go. Yeah. And look at the division that the Jets are in. They got Buffalo. They got Miami. And then you got sneaky Bill Belichick. Even though he didn't have an offensive coordinator last year, he has a real offensive coordinator now. If they don't make the playoffs, if the Jets take a step back, is that head coach in trouble?
The way this league is now, you'd have to say, yeah. I mean, if there's some other young up-and-coming, coordinator that's making some noise, they might try to do something. But I would have to think that it would have to be a pretty major flop, though. It had to be a really just a horrible performance. Nothing average. I do think they can, get more than be more than 509, and well, they got all these extra games now. Lord, they can get 9-10 wins on the high side. But if they're on one of them 4 and how many games they need to play?
17.
Oh,
18 games. Well, they got to buy, so it's 17 games. Yeah.
If they only get 4 wins, now you got to talk about it. Yeah. Now you got to think, hey, we got to make some switches. But if you only get 4 wins, a lot of things need to change in New York because that should not happen.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna stay going around the league real fast. So I'm gonna ask one more question, then say it, and then we'll go to Lady A and let's keep it going around the league. All right, Anthony, I want to talk to you about the AFC North, which is that's Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Yeah, yep. Cleveland, yep. Right? Which teams don't make the playoffs out of there, or how many teams make the playoffs from that division? I mean, you still got to think about the AFC. It's going to be really tough.
And the most you're going to get is 2, and that would be the Bengals and Baltimore. I think those are your 2.
No Pittsburgh.
No Pittsburgh. Just because now you got to go over there and think you're gonna get Buffalo. You got to think another one of those guys will make it, Miami or the Jets. So that's 2 from over there. Don't forget Kansas City or the Chargers. They just paid Justin Herbert. So
oh God,
it's still
they got to make a jump, try to get to the playoffs. So I mean, with the 7 teams, you could see maybe Pittsburgh sneaking in there because that's just kind of what Mike Tomlin teams do. They stay right above 500 and might find a way, but I don't think they can make it in.
Y'all gotta put some respect. Y'all gotta hold on, let me go say it
here right quick because you're talking about a Baltimore team that's got a bunch of 1-year contracts, a quarterback who has not played a full season in 2 years, and you're telling me they lost a lot of defensive players, especially defensive line. So you're telling me this team is going to make the playoffs over a Pittsburgh Steelers team that got hot going down the stretch and actually got better than Baltimore going down the stretch.
We got
Man.
everybody's fans in here. So,
Look, to me, if you got to look at that roster, I'm gonna put my money on Lamar Jackson over
There's a
Kenny
lot of people put their money on Lamar Jackson the last 2 years.
Hey, but you know what?
Baltimore put their money on him.
He shouldn't be running no triple option, quarterback power, quarterback midline that much, right? He should be in a more, something where he's kind of a bit more pass happy and not have to put his body in such issues. I just think that the guy is a much better player. He elevates that team,
and he hasn't even gotten to the South, the AFC South. So you didn't say if Jacksonville's going or Tennessee.
Oh,
those are the only two teams out of the South. It's only one.
You don't get one out of there.
They're getting one out of there.
Probably Jacksonville, but I mean, Houston's gonna scare some people. I think Houston's is a team that really can make some noise. We just have to see what they do on offense. But I think it's just Jacksonville down there. So
say get it in.
Is that 7?
Yeah, that's 7. That makes 7 now. Say get in there.
He done made me forget my question talking about Baltimore like that. I had a different question. I don't even know what it is now. The defensive end for the Broncos that just got suspended. I'm not going to hammer his name because I worked on it for a minute.
For gambling.
What do you think the NFL may need to do better with this gambling thing?
Man, I haven't looked into like what he did specifically. So I don't know if it was like a FanDuel.
It was gambling.
Thing.
Yeah, but he's suspended for the year indefinitely, can reapply. So
I mean, he definitely did something to a high degree. What they're gonna do is they're gonna have to educate like hell earlier on. You know what I mean? Just because you can't you get to the point you can't tell these kids what to do, right? You can't tell them what to do. You get a lot of money. And I tell them like, look, I can't tell you what to do, but you need to make sure you save some money. You know what I mean? Put it in some places that'll work for you. But outside of that, I can't tell you what to do. They at least they're going to have to bump up education and really point home that like, hey, gambling on NFL games is not okay. Like, even if it's a fantasy football, like, hey, we put $5 in the pot, you can't do it. Now you can play fantasy football. I don't know. I didn't even do that.
We cracked down on this. You could do that. You could do fantasy, but it's got to be like they do like their private leagues or whatever, and the pot can only go to $200.
Oh, okay. All right. I hadn't seen what that was. I just knew back when I was playing, I would play fantasy football, but there would be no money involved anywhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, honestly, man, now it's gonna be tough just because you have so many easily accessible betting options, right? You fly in, you touch down in Maryland. I already know my phone is going to light up. MGM is going to be like, hey, welcome back. Here's a $200 of free money. And it's going to be like, all right, cool. Like that's how it happens. And you imagine these kids, they think that everything is cool. It's on their phone or whatever. And they land somewhere and they're like, oh, I'm going to put something on here, man. It's like, oh, they're going to blow them out. Like they think it's nothing going to happen, but just leave it alone. It ain't worth it. Just leave it alone.
All right, Lady A.
Which question are we addressing right now?
NFL. You're just going around the league. Yeah, you're just going around the league.
We I feel like we touched on this before, and you guys were like looking at me kind of crazy. As far as AFC East, unfortunately, I'm not rooting for them, but I feel like the Bills got that. The North. Are we only doing AFC right now?
No, you go wherever you want. Okay, we want around the league.
Well, I agree about Baltimore. I feel like, well, first of all, when it comes to the Steelers, all last season I kept telling you guys, I don't think. Well, first I said Mike wasn't going in the season under 500. That's right, a given. Yeah. And I don't think that he is going to allow his team to really fall back. And do worse than they did last year. Last year was rough for him. Why he say HR is kind of crazy. The Bengals, I think they're going to do what they've been doing. I think they're going to be pretty consistent. South, I feel like the South is terrible. and it's kind of like a toss-up on who's going to take the South. I think the Colts
Who
are
do you
going to
think would
move
do
up.
it?
Yeah,
You
I
think
think
the Colts?
no, I think they're going to move up versus where they were before. Jacksonville probably will stay on top. Colts and Tennessee may switch, so it'll be Jacksonville, then the Colts, Titans, Texans. Texans ain't going nowhere; they're gonna stay there.
So that's how you see the South going out.
I mean, yeah, that's how I see that. The West, I mean, Kansas City, and I feel like it's crazy, but you guys know I'll go for something crazy at the beginning of the season, and then say I told y'all at the end of the season. The Raiders and the Chargers may switch. That doesn't mean it's like a really good thing for the Raiders.
Does that mean that both of them make the playoffs, or one is at the bottom of
I
the
don't
division?
think that they're going to both make the playoffs.
I don't think either one of them is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see that.
Either.
I know we know Kansas City is going to do what Kansas City does. Real talk, I think it's going the bottom. Those wild cards are going to be a struggle for that whole
Side of the
all of AFC. Those wild cards are going to be a struggle. I think that just like last year. You said what?
They're just gonna walk in there and get beat up.
They are.
You gotta go travel to Cincy more than likely.
It's
travel to Kansas City. That's tough.
NFC is easier to kind of you figure out. You know what I mean? The NFC is definitely easier to figure out. The AFC, those bottom spots, that's gonna be rough. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. And around the NFL.
Yeah, I'm going right back to Washington. I got questions that matter. So how are we feeling about this name? With the new ownership, what do you think are some realistic options as far as the names are concerned? Are we even going back to the original, which was always the best anyway? Was that more of a play to get to directly affect Dan than it was that anybody was really ever affected by it?
To change the name now?
Question. That's a great question.
Yes.
I like that.
I honestly at this point I was just like, man, I don't got the emotional extra baggage to go through that again.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Washington football team was growing on me because it just kind of had a little special ring to it. I was like, all right, I can get behind it. Tweak the jerseys a little bit. Like if you keep the recent jerseys, but the old name, hell, it was here for 72 hours. I at the point I'm like, I don't care what the name is. The one that's kind of deep down that I like, if they can find their way back to DC, is the DC Defenders. Like I like that. That'd be like the one I would go for.
But could we do that with the XFL team being the DC Defenders?
No, they got the rights. We can't. You can't do
yeah,
it.
we can't do that.
We can't do the DC Defenders.
Oh yeah, and then they didn't do the Red Wolves. See, this is why I don't have the emotional. Like, just let me know what it is, right? You just let me know where it's at. What time the reservation? I'll be there.
So this is what I did here on this thing. I heard this from Bram Weinstein. Is they were this close to paying whatever they needed to pay to be the DC Red Wolves or the Washington Red Wolves. They were that close, but he didn't have any money. Like, he was already hemorrhaging money. So, maybe this new group, the Dan Snyder, he had to borrow money from the league to pay for other investors to buy out. So he didn't have any money. Nobody wanted to do business with him. He's losing sponsorships. So he didn't have that money to pay for the Red Wolves. Yeah. So who knows?
I got something. Okay, so we were told that Red Wolves and Red Tails and all of these different names that the fans actually voted for were not able to be done because they had to buy the rights, such and such, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm just talking about.
They told the Commander, they told us the Commanders was the one that they went with because of that. Fast forward, we found out that the Commanders is actually secured yet. It was denied, and I think we talked about it briefly on the
We
show.
did. Yep.
And so we may have to go through this again, whether we want to or not, because the Commanders is not secure. And I want to say their application for it it ended up getting denied. So they were trying to appeal it. So I feel like we've been got. Okay.
We've been had, Timmy.
Been had.
So with that said,
Not
a lot of fans are like, okay, well, we were voting for Red Wolves and Red Tails. Can we do that? Can we go back to the Redskins? So that's a topic of conversation. But if you notice, Josh Harris is not trying to answer that right now. But
Yeah, I think
feel
that
like and he's fixing it. He's doing something, but he just won't talk.
I feel like they should go the route of the Cleveland Guardians. We just wake up and it's all of a sudden it's done. Don't ask us about it because we did it for 2 years. But great question.
But I'm saying though, like people were still very much upset about all that. Like
they were.
Like honestly, if you look at the Sean Taylor, installation, like they were upset with how that was done in the first, and frankly, it wasn't done properly.
Nope.
Right. So like, you got this year before you really have to. If you're gonna make some big changes, you spend your money getting the information from the fans, right? Find out what the name is and do your best to make that happen. Like, just they probably. I don't think they're going to go back to Redskins. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that was a whole bunch that happened media wise, public relations wise, and then now you got to think the league is already trying to handle their PR, and how they look out in the community. So I don't think they want to go back down that road. So.
All right. I know you got to run. Thank you for joining us again, man. You always answer the call when we ask. So here's my last question for you. All right. So you wake up on Sunday. It's one game you could watch. One game and one game only. What player are you looking forward to seeing, and who? And tell us why. What player are you looking forward to seeing, and tell us why?
Well, okay. So I need a little bit. Give me a little more context on this game.
So you can only watch one game. All teams are playing.
This is
football. Yeah, this is football.
Right,
what game are you watching, and what player are you tuning into, and tell us why?
Oh my gosh. Well, hell, I'm gonna watch the Commanders game.
Okay, and what player are you focusing on
here? Player I'm focusing. I'm probably gonna be watching Sam Howell very closely, just the whole time, because one TV copy, that's all you're gonna get to see, but when I go back and watch the tape, I get to watch everything else, because I think Sam's just gonna be the guy that's gonna have the most. They're gonna try to put the most pressure on him, but I think he'll handle it okay. Which one did you pick? Well, that's a tough question.
That was a tough question. I just wanted to see from your perspective if you were going to pick a wide receiver that you were going to watch. But I have to say thank you for your breakdown. The breakdown that you did of Sam's interception in the end zone, where you said, no, we got to coach Sam up, but we got to coach Terry up because he ran his route too short. I was like, man, you made me focus on all 11 players. Yeah, excellent work by you.
If you can, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry to cut you off, but if you can look at the all 22 is the one that tells the truth. Like the TV copy, you cussing out the wrong person. You watch on the all 22, you like, oh, I see how that all works together, right? They say the eye in the sky don't lie. Yeah. And when you running down and they turn on their tape, they're like, hey, you gonna turn on the tape in the film room? They're gonna put it up there. They're gonna say, what is this? I thought you didn't, do whatever. So like, I'm sure Terry got coached up on it, but that would have been my thing. I'd be like, you did not run that route good enough. And Trevon Diggs, he just got paid too. He just got it.
Yeah, we're going there next. We're going there next, so Ant can take his victory lap here in a second. So we're about to go there. Anthony Armstrong, thank you for joining us, man. We will tap back in with you again. When are you putting out your next podcast?
We taped one today, so it should be up today or tomorrow. So it'll be out there. I'll hit it on the Twitter.
Okay.
All right. Make sure you guys give Anthony a follow on Twitter, Anthony Armstrong. And he has a second one too that you do that's the one I don't
What's
I
that?
always follow you on the one that I talk to you on.
I got you. You
All
talking
right.
about my podcast? You don't want to say nothing about it. Though.
No,
I appreciate
no, I want you to plug it. Plug your podcast.
It's a Believe
The
in
Believe.
Commanders podcast. So Believe
There we go.
Commanders on Twitter. That's so when you see me retweet it, then that's the account. So you can check us out all streaming platforms, folks.
There we go.
We'll keep up with it.
Gotcha.
Thank you again, man. Give those receivers,
it.
tell those receivers when you're up there Friday, catch everything. Not half of them.
I got all the faith. I got all faith in those dudes. I think they're gonna probably be the best looking offensive unit starting off the first couple of days in training camp.
Okay, listen, I got to tell you the truth. There's one wide receiver that I'm giving all faith into this year, and that's De'Ami Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell him don't let me down. Because I will talk bad about him, but I'm giving him everything. I'm giving him all the positivity.
Anthony, please don't waste your breath.
No,
don't reply, Anthony, please.
I just
don't reply. Just say okay.
On that
Just
man
say okay,
all
Anthony. Just say okay. Just say okay.
We don't got time for this.
Look like I gotta get out of here.
He's been disrespecting that man for
Let me
2
check my
years.
watch.
Now you got all the faith.
Yeah.
I got all the faith.
Hey.
I told y'all I'm
Cut
turning
it
over a
out.
new leaf.
But
Nah,
I
no, you
mean, but for real, I mean, he knows he got some pressure on him, man. He's also got plenty of opportunity. You know, it's his boy at quarterback. So if anybody gonna throw you the rock, shit, it's gonna be your boy.
Yeah.
I mean that's one thing you can lean on, and if he just keeps putting good things together, make a play every single day, you know, De'Ami will be making some noise in the season, and you'll have to apologize for whatever you said to him. I ain't gonna tell him you said it though.
Well,
No.
hey, I talked bad about him last year, but I'm
did.
riding with him this year. I'm riding with him this year because he can run that 9 route as they pointed out. And Don said he said get ready to be disappointed.
Not Don, too.
Oh man.
Don't let him down, De'Ami.
Pick is a
me
fair
down,
weather
De'Ami
friend.
Brown.
Do not.
Well, y'all suck, man. Let me get out of here.
All right,
Hey,
thank
shout
you
out to
again.
Garage Gym Life. I appreciate you tuning in to the pod, man.
That's
Y'all be
our guy,
easy.
though.
I'll catch y'all
Thank
on
you,
the next
sir.
one,
All right,
okay?
Anthony.
All
Thank
Yes,
right.
sir. All right. Have a
See
great
y'all.
night. That was Anthony Armstrong right there, man. Check out his work on the Believe Commanders podcast. As John said, it is a really good one. De'Ami only runs 9 routes. Listen, it's not just me, but like I said, I'm putting all faith in De'Ami this year. In this offense. Oh my God, John is wrong. He is
John,
wrong.
you really out of pocket for that, buddy.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, I'm giving De'Ami a pass this year. Let's go. And it's on you in the news with that 262.
Thank you so much. Cowboy Blue on today.
Oh Lord.
Some of you guys may have heard, some of you may have lived under a rock. Cowboys did something that they should have done. Well, no, they did it on time. Re-signed Trevon Diggs, 5 years, $97 million dollar extension, $42.3 million guaranteed.
That's
Listen,
nice.
you can say a lot of things about him, but he actually did less in the pick department last year, but stats were way better overall. Gave up less yardage, less big plays. I believe he actually progressed as a
Thank you,
corner.
Armand.
Oh,
That was a feel good note to me. Thank you, Armand. Thank you. I digress, my brother. I'm sorry. I mean to cut you off.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that was the news for us for today. Re-signed Trevon Diggs. Look, and we also have Zach Martin, that is a holdout because he wants an extension. He wants his contract restructured. He believes that he's not being paid on par with the rest of the guys at his position. So he's a no-show at training camp so far. That guy's a 99 on Madden, if I'm not mistaken. and he's a top player.
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. So
No.
Couple things going on. We still got what's my number one receiver here? Come on, help me out here. CeeDee Lamb. We still got CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be coming up here soon. So we got to make a decision on what we're going to do, which clearly we're going to re-sign him. So there's a lot of money to be delved out. Zach may be a casualty, not because he's not worth the money, but you still got to think about paying him, and then Mike is going to be coming up here as soon as you know it. So there's a lot of money that's going to have to be shelled out, unless you're going to do him a humongous signing bonus. Talking about Zach, you probably gonna have to just go ahead and show up and play with what you got there, buddy.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something about the football season. I love the football season because two things. First, we get to sip tea with Lady A, so that'll be coming back really soon. And then we get 5 minutes with Aunt Mo. Man, I can't wait for those.
Why did you put this lame comment up? Because he doesn't even stay injured. Like,
listen,
metaphor has been a real miss today. That other joke was very terrible, actually, that you said earlier. That I'm glad you didn't put it up. It was very inappropriate.
So he needs fines, is what you're telling us. Okay,
yeah, he might need a 5-minute timeout if he keeps it up.
All right,
I digress.
Okay, say it. 262 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z Chargers just gave away their whole team.
Who did
it? They dropped a packet off on the quarterback who has done jack deals so far in his career. They actually gave him more money than the guy who played in the Super Bowl last year. But I digress. Who actually was in the voting to be MVP.
Hey.
But anyway, Herbert got 5 years, $262 million.
5 years, 262 million. What's the AAV?
52. I think it was 52.1 million a year.
Yikes.
So is that a book? So my thing is, if I'm Joe Cool, I'm over here saying thank you, but at the same time, the team that he plays for is not known for spending a lot of dough.
It is 52 million, 52.5 million.
That's craziness.
But I mean, the winner in all of this really is Joe Burrow, because Justin signed first, so Joe Burrow's got to be better than that, right? And he took Cincy to a Super Bowl, and Herbert has gone where? You had a 20-something point lead and blew it, and you get 262 mil?
Yeah.
The winner is definitely Joe Burrow, and the loser is the Cincinnati Bengals at the same time.
I mean, it's like when you and I had this discussion earlier. The fact that Mahomes' contract with Kansas City,
$500 million.
He has been cap friendly because he has, they want me to move some money around. I'm gonna move it around.
Yep.
But the difference is he got 2 chips. That's the difference. But with that contract Mahomes signed, that $500 million, they have restructured his money at least twice so far.
Yeah. Well, they got to.
He's winning though. He's winning.
And hold on, let me let Paulie know something real quick. Paulie, I know what my number one receiver's name is, buddy. I just have a Benjamin Button memory.
Oh,
he's worth the money. And his numbers was better than a lot of those guys over there that wore that W. Yeah.
He's a hater.
Whoa, you hating? You hating, bro?
No, I'm just telling you what the stats say.
You hating? No, because you referred to somebody's Madden rating, and last time I checked, Terry's Madden rating is better
Zach
than.
Martin? Yes, he's
talking about your wide receiver.
No, I didn't say anything about that. Yes, thank you. See, there you go.
Paulie referred to your number one wide receiver.
I didn't say anything about a Madden rating with him, though. I said he's worth the money, is what I said.
Got you. You right.
Yeah,
you right.
Don't do it.
You're right, because you said Zach Martin's 99. You right.
Zach Martin's 99 in real life. He is.
RL.
In real life.
Yeah, whatever, Paulie.
All right. Okay. So, man, listen, Trayvon Diggs, the year that he had the 11 interceptions, I mean, you cannot deny it. Last year, you said he had less interceptions, but he had better overall numbers and things like that. Cool. What do you guys? I mean, the safety position all of the corners get the glory. The safety positions, just like the running back positions, get downgraded. Hey, Josh Harris is in the building now, and it's time to pay Cam Curl. Are we looking at Cam walking? Or, I mean, because he's on the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
I mean, do we find out that he gets an extension later on in camp before the season start, or does he get one done before? Because if he hits the free agent market, he's done. He's gone. He's out of here. Right? Can't franchise tag everybody. What are we thinking about Cam Curl? The chances of him getting extended.
I mean, y'all were talking about how good he was.
I mean, you guys are just taking over. I mean, you got a owner who's just taking over.
Right.
You don't know his idea of what he want to do yet with anybody.
Right.
You know, and like I said, I told you before they sold the team that the previous owner was there. They put a hold on all bonus payments because they were waiting for the new owner to take over
so he could make them payments.
And our draft picks, they just signed their contracts.
Yeah, yeah. So, a lot of first round, the first and second round.
Right. So with that said, you know, we can't really predict at this moment, but I do agree with you saying if he hits free agency, he's gone because he's a good player. I mean,
Don
is good. Don, calm down, Don. God, Don.
Oh,
Don.
I mean, he's not a bad player.
No, he's not. But
I can see other people picking him up. I could definitely see that, but we can't predict at this point. We really can't. We don't even know, like, you know, if he's going to change the food and the you know, he said he's planning on it, but we don't know that when that's going to happen. We don't know, you know, what he planned. We don't even know if Ron is going to still have a job at the end of the season. So we can't really speak to that.
Nah, y'all know y'all just don't want him to.
Hey, I really want Cam Curl
don't want Ron to have a job.
I mean, Ron can have a job, just not the one he has.
Right.
Well, that's where he at.
Here's the thing about Cam Curl. We know that he can play in the box. He can play back deep, and we also know that we just drafted Quan Martin. We just drafted Quan, right? Who again can play in the slot. He can play deep. He can play as a linebacker. So with those two safeties on the field, it allows you to be more flexible and have your defense do crazy things. But you got to have both of them. So you got to have Defoe, you got to have Cam, and you got to have Quan. Because then, like somebody said it today, they was like, can you imagine this defense playing a 4-1-7? Like, and you have these three safeties on the field, and you don't know between Cam and Quan which one is coming down.
So look at Armand's.
I saw that. I was about to put that up. Yeah.
So for me, I look at it like this. We have to see what they do because this could be a classic case of the rookie takes your spot. Like it really could be. So we can't answer that right now. Hopefully we'll see more in the season to kind of make that assumption on who's going to keep that spot. But yeah, Cam may be gone. If Quan gets out there and shows out, Cam could be gone. Easy.
Well, that's the thing is you gotta allow him to get on the field. You gotta allow him to get on the field.
They will. You're not gonna pay that money.
Let me tell you something. If Ron went full dementia, they just try to see if he could rehab at the hospital. They'd have him still at business as usual. It wouldn't be much of a difference.
And stop it.
What?
He said he got full dementia. Yeah, you better get it right when it comes to the playoffs. All right. There was another bit of NFL news we wanted to talk about before we move on to our last one. The running backs had a Zoom meeting because, as you see, we are phasing running backs out, right? We ain't paying nobody. Yeah, I think they about to start a revolt. I don't know, but then they called. So Saquon was on this Zoom, and then he figured out I better sign this little extension they got before me right now. For 11, I could possibly make 12 with some incentives.
Mm-hmm.
They left Brandon Jacobs out to dry, leading rusher last year, and the Raiders told him, "We're not paying you." What can the running backs do?
You mean the leading rusher for the Raiders?
No, the leading rusher for the NFL last year.
That would be Nick Chubb.
No, it wasn't. Go check your
Yes,
stats.
it
Sid.
was. I
was
had
not
to look at the stats.
Oh, real quick.
Check-
Hey,
Check your
Don,
stats, man.
don't let Fred see you putting that up because he said something to us when he came on the show.
He
About,
did.
he said, I was a second round pick. I was like, oh, wait. You were.
Shook his head. Shook his head too.
He really did. He was mad. He was big mad at us. But I mean, it's definitely an issue. However, can't say it's across the board. It's an exception to every rule. Gotta call Mike Sellers. Oh,
Gotta call Mike Sellers. Hey, so Saquon does.
Hold on, y'all. Let me clear this up real quick.
go ahead.
According to NFL.com, leading rusher last year was Josh Jacobs with 1,653. Second was Derrick Henry with 1,538, and then it was Nick Chubb with 1,525.
Yeah.
And how many games did Derrick Henry miss last year?
Derrick Henry,
he missed a bit. He missed a bit last year.
I'm trying to see if they have that on here.
And to answer your question, said if he played the whole season, yes, he would be.
He would have. Yeah, he would have definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Don, yes, I know that you were the one, but I'm saying he was big mad the last time that was brought up.
He got it done. He did. Gunny said they can't do a damn thing. He said they can't do a damn thing. Sign.
If they go on strike,
all running backs.
All of them.
So remember, Fred also told us, he said the youngins don't be participating. They don't vote when it comes to things. So they're not going on strike.
They just making their money. The money that they got, they just making their money.
Right. So I was hearing too that who do we talk to? They said they got to sort of pay them differently. No, I'm sorry. Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley said they need. I'm sorry, CJ. Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson said they got to do something because they're not making it to a second contract. It was Chris Johnson. They're not making it to a second contract, so they got to put more incentives in their contracts to get them their money. Because think about it. Whenever a running back rush for 2,000 yards, the next year they have a huge drop off. Go back and look.
Yeah.
If a running back rushes for 2,000 or gets close to 2,000 yards the following year, their drop off is significant. The last running back that got close to 2,000 yards was the Colts running back. And then the following year, he was beat down. And look at where the Colts wound up at. So it's true that they're going to use you up and look for the next cheapest replacement for you. So Gunny is right in a way. They can't do a damn thing. And that's the nature of the beast. But they want to act like the running game is not as big as the passing game with the quarterbacks.
Right.
With the quarterbacks. All right. Do CJ2K. That's right. Did we cover everything in the NFL? Did I miss any NFL news?
Well, that'll be it.
That about it? All right. So say it.
Take it back.
Let's go.
Left the one off by Rubo Run.
Oh, first impressions. What are you guys' first impressions on the the Harris ownership group, and what is the future for Ron Rivera with this new group? Now, it's not a lot that they can do this year, right? But if by some unknown reason we go on a 3-game losing streak, does Ron survive? So it's a 2-part question. First impressions on the Harris ownership group, and the second part, if we go on a bad little run, does Ron survive? I mean, because today in that press conference, I swear to God, I think my man was broken. Like Dan Snyder broke him because it was Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris. Hey, Ant, question for you. When your head coach talks about the owner of the Dallas Cowboy, what does he call him?
Dad.
He calls him dad. That's behind closed doors. What does he call him in front of the reporters?
Hey now.
I don't know, Jerry.
He calls him Jerry.
Yeah.
Say it. When the Falcons head coach talks about the owner, what does he call him?
Arthur Blank.
He calls him Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank. If I hear one more Mr. Harris, I swear to God, I'm gonna come to DC and I'm gonna beat Ron with a bat.
You're mad because he's a man of respect?
No, excuse me, no. I'm mad because he's been institutionalized by Dan Snyder.
So, Pitt.
Yes.
We do not condone violence.
Man.
Ain't you a military man?
I am. But he better stop calling him
Mr.
Harris.
Out, right?
Him.
He better stop calling him Mr. Harris.
Hey, he ain't had no drinks with him yet. Like, geez, like he can't take that with his medicine. So you might need to just let him determine. See what I'm saying? Let him determine the nature of their relationship before he can call him by his first name or not.
The nature of
when you first meet me, you better say Mr. Whatever if I'm your boss.
Mr. Mo.
Whatever.
At least to start.
Whatever. Okay, so but also keep in mind that he was not allowed to talk to him.
He has talked to him
during the process purchasing. Okay, so
no. He actually did have a meeting with them.
Okay, while we were waiting on this whole transaction to go through, he was not allowed to talk to him. The coach and the potential ownership groups were not allowed to talk. He doesn't know that man. So yeah, he called him Mr. Harris
1,000 times. And he called Magic Johnson. Hold on. You didn't even call him by his first name. Mr. Johnson, yes. Mr. Rails. He's been institutionalized by Dan Snyder.
Let's not pretend.
Correction, Mr. Magic.
That sounds bad, but okay. But let me say this. When it comes to Dan, he was awful, but he let Ron stay there, even though he shouldn't have been, right? Even though he should not have been there. These new people that came in that are his new bosses are evaluating everybody and everything. Ron knows he didn't do a good job. He knows. So guess what? Yes, sir. Thank you kindly. Yes, Mr. Harris, Mr. Johnson, all that, Mr. Rails. He's going to
was a little out of line too.
Excuse me.
Mr. Johnson.
That's that man's last name. Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, find yourself on that one. Excuse me. Listen. Hello. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Calling me. Okay. Listen. Players don't call Ron Rivera Coach Rivera. They say Ron, right?
I've heard them say Coach.
They just say Coach, right?
That's a title.
But you also hear players say Ron. You hear that both ways. Ron.
When they're addressing him, no, I've never heard them call him Ron.
I have
never heard a player addressing him. I've heard them if they're talking to the media and they say Ron or Coach Rivera. I hear Coach Rivera a lot, but I do not hear them calling him Ron, not the players. Is that what you did when you played football? You called your coach by his first name?
Well, hold on. There's a difference. That was a grown man. That was a grown man, and I was an 18-year-old.
Ron is older than their father.
When I played in college, I called my coach by his first name.
That's shocking. I don't hear that.
Yeah, when you go to D3s, that's how it goes, man. You just call coaches whatever because both y'all looking for jobs, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you want.
Hey, man. Hey, finna get fired.
Hey, man. I tried to hold that in so bad.
Out with the
thank you for that response.
And
made it all work.
Terrible. When you go to D3.
You might be coaching him next year. Who knows, man?
No.
I think it's going to take more than 4 games to get Ron relieved of duties this year. It's got to be like 5 or 6 to get him relieved of duty this year. Now at the end of the year, depending on the record, it could get him relieved at the end of the year. They want to go a different direction. The inherited run. They had no choice because how close it is to training camp and the season. So, like you said, everybody's on evaluation. So if he cannot produce, team cannot produce with him bringing in a new offensive coordinator, adjusting the defense with the defensive people that they drafted, then 5 games. Yeah, I think he's going by the end of the year. If they lose 5 games, maybe 6.
I mean, if you look at that schedule, Arizona, then we go to Denver. You come home for Buffalo, right? After that, you got a 4-game stretch there, and then you better have your stuff right when you go to Denver because you got a 4-game stretch when you come back from Buffalo, or when you come home to Buffalo. That could be your 5 right there.
Yeah.
And then you got a fan base. You got
those 3. What's the next 4 games after Buffalo?
I'll tell you in a second.
Our schedule is not all that easy.
I just got my phone back right.
You could be 2-3 after the first 3 games. I'm just, the Broncos aren't unbeatable. We already know that. Right. But the new Broncos could be, but we haven't seen them play yet. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna throw y'all out there and say, okay, 2-3, the possibility of losing to Buffalo.
All right, so you got
I would be very angry.
You got the Broncos, the Bills, the Eagles, then you got the Bears. Justin Fields, don't sleep on Justin Fields said.
You don't have to say that.
I mean, he tore us up last year, but they just couldn't score any points. And then we got the Falcons. That's a winnable game, but don't worry about that one. Then you got the New York Giants that you haven't beaten.
Y'all could be 2-2 out of them games right there.
No, you're right. We could beat the Falcons.
Y'all could be 2-2 out of them games right there. So that 2-2 with that 2-1 makes you was it 4-3? So
okay, but
you're still not out of the water. You're almost at the halfway point.
So wait, all of this is to say what about Ron?
He said it's going to take about 6 games, 6 losses.
If we go on a 6-game losing streak,
that's what I think.
I got you.
If we go on a 6-game losing streak, I don't think that he makes it off of that Monday.
But Don, losing. Can we be clear with Don real quick? Did you not see the game last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have ran the ball. Justin Fields had like 4th and 30 and actually ran for it. And then they got in the red zone and didn't run the ball. So that's the only reason why they didn't beat y'all. So stop saying this stuff about he can't throw the ball. Like the dude is actually quite phenomenal to not be able to throw the ball. You see the records he broke last year? You gotta come on, Don.
Hold on, no.
It's a question of the month, man. You gotta do better than some of these.
Plus, you gotta look at what Justin Fields did at the end of the season. Look at what he did at the end of the season. Man, what Justin Fields did at the end of the season compared to what he was doing. Remember, it was about a 3 or 4 week period where Justin Fields was tearing the league up with his arm and with his leg.
And let's be clear, what said, commentator from the very beginning was absolutely true. He was running for his life. We didn't get to really see how good he could really throw the ball because he was too busy trying to make sure he didn't break both his shoulders. All type of stuff. I mean, seriously, that dude was running around like crazy. Now we know he can run. Now let's just see if he can throw the ball with a little bit. And they didn't do much to give him protection.
Yeah.
Don, I'm about to
hold on. And I got this one. Don, name one of Justin Fields' wide receivers like right now. Name one.
Oh, let's talk about the line that he's behind.
Come on, man.
I can give you one. That's easy.
I know you can't.
Yeah, Claypool. They just got him, and he's
they just got him in the second half of the season.
He's on pup right now.
They got him in the second half of the season.
They pulled him off.
Took him off. Okay.
Today, they put it, and they saying that he don't like practicing.
Who?
Claypool?
Well,
they saying what Pittsburgh was saying. I mean, I can only read what the news puts up sports wise. They saying that this guy doesn't like to practice like he's playing the game.
Yeah,
man.
So wait, let me ask you a quick question, Pitt. Did you watch the lovely announcement, interview, meet and greet, and everything else that they wanted to call it last week on Friday? The press
I didn't
conference.
watch it. I heard it.
Okay, so I want you to go back and actually watch it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we're talking about Dan and we're talking about his relationship with Ron and how I think Dan was helping Ron and it was wait a minute, and it was working. When they called Ron to the when Jason Wright called Ron over to speak, Ron was just sitting there like, "Oh, who, me?"
Oh,
And
he had another senior moment.
it was brief, but it was alarming to me. And Jason was like, "Yeah, come on, like, yes, you." And so I'm like, is this going to continue on throughout the season? Because it's really weird.
I see. It's that type of behavior that I don't think that this ownership group will stand for. I don't think this ownership group will stand for, and I still believe it. It was a fireable offense that you did not know that your team could be eliminated, and you played Carson Wentz. And that's the absenteeness of an owner. That's the absenteeness of you don't have a boss. Well, guess what? You may not have a GM, but you have an ownership group that wants to win. So have a senior moment if you want during the season or right down the stretch run when we need to win a game and you decide to put Carson Wentz in the game just to prove yourself right. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't have that effect and you asking for your players to give you everything they have and study and be 100% correct and be accountable, but you not accountable to knowing the situations that you put them in. So yeah, have a senior moment if you want and see how fast you get fired.
Hey John, I love you too, man. A teleprompter.
For
That is
who?
hilarious. Me, he talking about
Ed.
yeah, he talking about Ed is doing well today. Good job. You need to use a teleprompter every stream. That is very funny.
You guys have been awesome today, for real, for real. Okay, hold on. What am I missing back here? Oh, Lady A. Lady A, I'm going to need you to find yourself for what you put into the chat.
What I do?
Did you say it? Say it. If you agree with me, man, do you think she needs a point for that one?
Yeah, she needs time out for that one.
What?
She needed time out for that one.
What I do?
And did you see it?
Hey, that's a what's y'all's new owner's name?
Josh Harris.
Josh Harris.
Yeah, that's a Josh Harris move. She's trying to show us she's one of us.
I can't tell you.
I'll allow it.
You allow it.
Not I'll allow it.
He's going to allow it. Ed's going to allow it. All right, cool.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, listen, no, you did. And the next fine I get, I'm just going to circle it right back to you. So I got a freebie. Said you got a freebie, and you don't have a freebie because you allowed it. So
yeah, I'm in the hole.
Right.
You got no passes. Say it. Have we covered everything, or am I missing something?
No, we got one more. We got baseball.
Baseball. Okay, Ant. Okay, Ant. Man, listen. The Orioles are kicking butt. The Texas Rangers are starting to slip. The question here is there?
Don't do that. We started out 6-0. We lost a series. We all right. We okay.
You okay?
Dang.
The question is,
Jeez,
who can stop the Atlanta Braves from winning the pennant? Ant, please help me out. Who can stop the Braves from winning the pennant?
But it's kind of like what we talked about. Was it before the break or it was right after the break? They took 2 or 3 from Tampa Bay before, but then they didn't start out so hot coming fresh out. So
you're right.
I don't know where this question is necessarily coming from. Sounds like you're trying to be biased to your buddy here.
No.
Anybody.
They've been steady throughout the season, and they
No, they have not been. They actually were on. They actually were not doing well, and then they went on a run to get in contention to where they were like a game or so behind Tampa Bay. That's why I'm like, no, they haven't been steady, Eddie. That nobody like. Probably compared to some of the other teams, maybe, but no, they weren't. I mean, Sed'll tell you, they got hot, and then they maintained the hotness at a certain point.
Maintain the hotness. I like that.
Yeah, they maintained that hotness for a little bit, but it wasn't like that. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Let's go, Rangers.
The Rangers, okay.
We rallying right now. But anyway, go ahead.
The Braves have quite a few pitchers that's gotten hurt, so we went out and made a couple trades. I like to thank the Texas Rangers for trading Taylor Hearn.
Why does he disagree with? Oh, Taylor Hearn, he ain't nothing special.
Hey, we only need him for like an inning player. We don't need him to pitch more than an inning.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna get you that. We'll take.
Yeah,
we thank you for those.
That's all we need out of it.
We thank you. And he gonna get blown up in that time. That's what I'm
we just get y'all cash. We didn't get y'all no pick for that.
I know. We thank you for those cash considerations. We can put that together and get us something real nice.
we also traded for a right-hander from Colorado Rockies, Pierce Johnson. We have like 4 pitchers that are hurt and on the DL. Nick Anderson, right shoulder strain. Dylan Lee, left shoulder strain. Jesse Chavez, bruised left shin. And
well, y'all been wearing them pitchers out.
Right, what are y'all doing in Atlanta?
These guys are getting hit by balls.
Whoa. I didn't know y'all was giving it up like that. It is Atlanta.
I knew that was. I knew that was coming.
It is Atlanta.
Say it and what is going on?
Hold on. Say we ain't asked you what they into.
It's that time of year where guys who are already a little dinged up and they can't stay, undinged up because of the amount of times they're pitching. They're throwing a rock,
Say it.
Are you doing this on purpose now?
Yes.
I said throwing a rock.
Did you hear how he said the word rock? I ain't never heard nobody emphasize the word rock the way he did.
If I would have said, I would have said something like pitching that ball. But anyway, but realistically, they came out and lost 3 or 4 right after the All-Star break. But so far they've turned around and they're starting to heat up again, which is bad for everybody else. Because if we're starting to heat up, we're already 18 games up in our division, so our division is almost locked up. Because as long as the Mets lead, I really don't care about everybody. Like I can't say the Mets. But right now we're losing to the Red Sox 2-1. It was a rain delay just the top of the second.
Hey, the Red Sox got that rookie. That rookie's real. That dude is a problem.
We gonna continue to catch everybody's best shot because everybody likes to knock off a champ. So it is what it is.
Okay.
Say it. Are you aware of what you're saying?
Well aware.
Okay.
Definitely aware.
Hey, all right.
You had one credit and you used it.
And
then you went like 4-0.
Hey, they catching everybody's best shot.
He couldn't even get to the end of his sentence. Like I thought he was almost done, and here he go.
Hey, and speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up. In the last game, a dude got hit in the back with a ball. Hit him in the back. He caught it in the back. He just turned around and walked up to the face.
So we heard you. we heard you the first time.
Come on, bro.
What's wrong with you?
Say.
You're looking all innocent. What? Awful. Say it is awful.
You got me over here losing it, bro. I don't have no more water. I
can tell what Sid getting wound up. I can tell what it's about to. Yeah, I can tell what it's coming down the pipe.
What? And
sorry, man. Listen.
But I will say this.
Laughing.
It's 2-1, top of the second. Man on first, man on third, 2 outs. The shortest man on the field, Albiers, I said his name wrong. He's up the bat.
Of course.
He had a 3-run dinger.
He's the shortest. How tall is he? Is he big height or
man? Whoa!
Oh, bang, bang.
Listen, this is
I just
exactly
wanted to
why
ask
I'm
you.
You know
getting
what?
with Coach Barlow so I can get my official height.
What'd you say, Sid? You heard that, Pitt.
Say about to be suspended.
Hey, there ain't nothing worse than earlier when he said he play around in the box and he good from stroking. Somebody said from deep. I was like, so we just gonna go past it. Okay, no problem. No problem. We'll go.
Hey.
I didn't hear it either.
I had something to say about the Oreos, but you
can't.
I can't remember what I had wrote down. I said I can't remember what I have written down. I'm done.
He
Hey,
can't get it together.
listen, let's talk about Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. Oh my God, with that stupid contract that he signed today. What are they thinking in Boston?
They not making good decisions. That's what they're not doing. No, seriously, they are not. I don't listen. I'm not saying that he's not a great player or anything, but you don't give that guy 300 and something million, man.
So and somebody was wearing Savage. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, they had that Dior on. Hold on now. Speaking of that,
Lord, you got some.
No, I do have some. I have 2 boxes of that, but no, I just want to show you. I got some Versace Arrows.
Oh, okay.
I got some Burberry.
Okay,
that stuff smells. That stuff. Ooh, it smells amazing. I can't even lie.
That's an old school.
And then I got me some Jimmy Choo.
All right,
man. Listen.
No wonder you be having these late nights here.
What?
I tell you later.
That don't sound right.
Nah, Aunt knows
here. Hold on, late nights here. I don't be at your house, man. Don't that?
Not with me, bro. Come on now. No, no.
Right, thank you.
Not now.
Clear it up now.
Come on. Hey, it's no worse than you talking about a love child. Never going to happen.
That was bad, Aunt.
Man, you know, hey, man, they always said you look cute pregnant, man. I don't know.
What? Aunt.
All right, back to the Boston Celtics.
What's this?
I think the only thing that they did right in this contract was not have a player option in, and then they left out no player option and then a no trade clause. Other than that, I don't understand what they were doing about this.
Terrible.
Right.
We don't need no more of that in the world.
Yeah, that's
no.
Hey,
Ant's about to go on a timeout here.
$4 million super max. That was a lot.
Man,
terrible.
Listen, the only other player contract that I saw that was better than that was the soccer players. Mbappe.
Yeah, that dude right there.
Can't wait to get to the bank.
God, I know that's right. Off today. That's crazy.
That
soccer
is crazy.
Players ain't playing.
No.
Everybody else, basketball, baseball, y'all can have backseat.
They like that's cute.
Where it's at, right?
He said that's cute.
Yeah. Listen,
that's everything.
So we know, do not let your kids grow up to play the position of running back. And if they want to play football, make sure it's soccer.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Makes sense? Makes sense.
Yep.
Hey, makes sense to me. Hey, man, listen, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping by, kicking it with us, watching Ant act a whole fool today.
Yep. And say it too.
Not sure if Sayed's going to be here. Not sure if Sayed's going to be here on Thursday. He really could be suspended. So y'all have to tune in to find out.
I'm going to have my contacts on Thursday.
No.
Thursday, Sayed's going to have my contacts on.
Oh, not the bite, not the lip bite.
Hey, make sure y'all check in with us on Thursday. We have Ken Jennings from Burgundy Blog that'll be with us, and we're gonna try to have Adam with us as well. The Commanders kicking off training camp, man. So y'all stay tuned. Get a lot of news. Hopefully, we stay away from injuries. When do the Cowboys start their traiing camp? Ant?
Soon.
I think everybody.
No, it's already started. No, I'm tripping. It's already started.
Everybody went in today.
But that's how I was saying Zach ain't there because they already started.
Yeah. Everybody went in today.
All right. Hey, we're gonna have a quick meeting backstage before everybody get off. But hey, said we covered everything, so y'all know what this is. Thank you all for checking in with us. Catch us on Thursday. Shouts out to my son, United States Air Force. First String Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell him, say it.
Go Dogs.
Hail.
Ready for your beats? All right, Armstrong, the person.